All right. Good morning, Marcy. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Sam?
I am fantastic. So I've got your resume here in front of me. We were chatting a little bit off camera. You've got a fantastic background and you have been running the show in the mortgage industry. But at this point in your career, you're open to trying out a new industry. You've got a solid background in accounting and account management. So I'm going to let you take the stage. And why don't you tell us first what you were doing at Orman Mortgage Group?
Okay. Well, what wasn't I doing at Orman Mortgage Group should be the question. But it was just the owner, and he hired me to be his assistant. And then so I handled anything and everything that he needed. I would hire people and then train them. And then once we got our traditional mortgage license, then we started hiring loan originators.
Okay.
And then I became licensed myself. So I knew, I made sure I knew how to do the entire process from the beginning to end. And so then I could train other people.
Okay.
And then I would do everything else, like maintain the website and answering calls, making sales, flyers to send out. I would do the marketing, all of it. But towards the end, I was more so training and doing daily one-on-ones with the loan originators to ensure, and then training new loan processors on the whole process and what to do and when to do it. And then also maintaining the relationships with the banks.
Okay.
So all the account executives at the banks, I was the go-to. I was the in-house IT person, I did everything. We even opened a new office and I designed it and moved us, so I just did it all.
Well, and I love that because what I think, even with such a niche industry, it gave you such exposure to true just day-to-day operations, whether it be, you had the HR side, you had some of the account, vendor relations side, the account management side, the accounting side. So you've really got to check all the boxes and marketing and website, which is pretty cool as well too.
And keeping the sales up and where they needed to be every quarter and running the sales reports for my boss. And
you got the reporting.
I actually created the spreadsheets in order to have a system in place for every quarter moving forward. So
fantastic. I love it. And then before that, you did some accounting work and you were an executive assistant for, oh God, I'm not going to say this name of this company, right? Penta
Mezzanine Fund. It's an investment company. It was in downtown Orlando. There are 5 partners, hence the Penta. So I was basically executive assistant for all the partners. However, John Morgan was a partner, and obviously he has his own people handling, he was more of a silent partner, if you will. And then Grant Hill, he was a professional basketball player, and he has his own assistants. So I would work closely with their assistants and them whenever they were in the office, but they generally
what type of things would you handle?
Anything so for Penta Mezzanine Fund, I handled everything from travel. So when Grant and John were involved, it was private travel. So I would handle the private travel and then the hotel bookings and everything for all of them. And then getting people going from multiple cities into one place, and booking, travel for multiple people at a time and scheduling meetings and everything. But then I was also doing the investor relations. So whenever investors, we had about 100 investors, 75 to 100 investors, whenever they would call in, I was the go-to person because I handled the distribution calls. Like whenever we would send out checks, we'd send out quarterly distributions. I would handle the calculations, the spreadsheet. It was very intricate and very complex. And that's where I learned Excel. I've learned so much about Excel working there. But then, as far as cutting the checks and then mailing them out. And so and then also getting stuff signed, so like whenever we would need John or Grant's signature, I would have to go get something signed from them. And then the companies that we invested in, if they didn't have a solid accounting people, like some of them were in like little towns in Texas. So if they didn't have a solid accounting branch or, anyone to do it, then I would step in and handle the accounts receivable, accounts payable, their books. I would do that for the companies that we were investing in.
Wow, what a neat position. And obviously you got to meet some pretty heavy hitters, obviously, in that industry as well, too. So that's really great and great exposure. So you did mention being a guru in Microsoft Excel. What other computer software programs are you familiar with and proficient in?
I am, so back at Penta Mezzanine Fund, I used QuickBooks for all the companies, and just Penta Mezzanine alone had about 6, sister companies all working together. So, running the books just between those, it was all in QuickBooks. And so going through the different accounts. And then, anything Microsoft Office.
Okay,
Really.
fantastic. I love it.
All of Microsoft Office. And if I don't know it, I can figure it out.
Yep. And you mentioned that, you mentioned to me too about being open to that. You're a great test taker. I've known you for many years. You're smart as a whip, that you are open to going after, if a job requires a certain license or certification, that you're willing to put in the legwork to study to get it if needed.
Oh yeah. Not a problem. I can do it. I love learning and just having that stimulation and, having a challenge. That's what I thrive on. So, I don't want to say even better if I have to get certified in something, but it's certainly not a problem. I've had my real estate license for about 10 years just because why not, and then I got my mortgage license because why not, and my boss didn't even know that I was getting my mortgage license. I just got it and then told him, and he was like,
well, that's very impressive. That's not an easy license to obtain. So you should be very proud of that. That's pretty great. So Marcy, at this point in your career, what is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
I definitely like having growth opportunities.
Okay.
So the last 2 companies that I worked for, they were, I started as executive assistant and then quickly turned into, all the things. I was accountant, manager, recruiter, marketing, IT, all the things. So somewhere that I can get in and really show them what I'm capable of, because it's really a lot. And I know that. And anyone that I've worked for can see that, so just having an opportunity to grow that's the main thing. I don't just want to be stagnant, just doing the same thing.
I love it. All right, Marcy, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and I've already got a couple positions I want to chat with you about, if that sounds good to you.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, Sam.